All right, here we are aboard Wraith down in Wickford, Rhode Island. Start at the stem. A nice chromed bronze bow casting. Bulbous shape to it. Windlass. A couple of chromed. He's got nice re-chromed door aids for the port and starboard. This is kind of an interesting freshwater fitting for, it's for flushing fresh water through your head. Anchor chocks. David says he's got a spinnaker pole for the full J measurement on the port side and then a whisker pole on the starboard side. All the stanchion bases have been taken off and re-chromed recently, so he says. There are chrome corners for the house that have been taken off and re-chromed. Those are down below. The deck is got a lot of bungs popping out, a little bit of unfairness. Some places where it looks like the rabbeted seams are, the rubber's not all the way to the bottom. So I'm guessing this is a veneer over plywood, and I think it could probably be cleaned up by resinking and rebunging the fasteners and re-rubbering the seams. I don't think you'd even have to take out the old rubber, just put more in. A little bit of varnish yellowing in the corners. Hatch here, again some more yellowing on the varnish, but all in all not terrible. It's painted toe rails and covering boards. Solar vent for the head. Fairlead blocks. Re-chromed door aid vents. It's a really nice Dodger. The owner of the boat's a sailmaker, canvas maker, so all the canvas is beautiful. Door aid boxes have been taken off and refinished, so those are in pretty good shape. Butterfly hatch also was taken off and revarnished. Let's see. Garage here has got some flaking, but not too much discoloration. Self-tailing winches. Really nice, deep, comfortable cockpit. Pretty spectacular visibility from the Dodger. All the control lines for the halyards and reefing points all come back to the cockpit, which is nice. It's got some older data marine electronics. Good visibility there. It says the boat points at 29 degrees on one side and 31 on the other, which struck me as pretty impressive. The tiller fittings are off being re-chromed. It's all been taken apart pretty recently. Very simple on the back deck. Again, some issues with the teak deck where the rubber is, some voids, and what you're looking at there is the rabbet at the bottom of the seam. Open up the lazarette. Nice big lazarette hatch. So the whole bottom of the boat was replanked, and the inner layer is plywood and the outer layer is I'm guessing mahogany. Wasn't particularly well done. You can see there's no squeeze out of any glue between the plywood planking. There was a broken frame back there that hasn't been sistered or otherwise attended to. Work wasn't particularly well done. Cockpit lockers are huge with great storage, tons of space. Anywhere that the inside of the boat's accessible, it's been painted. Batteries, I guess, are pretty new. You can see the transition. There's the new plywood inner planking, and then some peeling paint as you get up into the original planking. Here's a broken frame that's been sistered with a laminated section, which is pretty strong. He's got a new pull cord coming. He's got a bunch of projects that he's working on, but they seem to be getting done. This is a cover for the boat. Keep the dust off I'm not going to dig in there now, but earlier I was down sort of under the cockpit well, and the horn timber has some pretty significant surface deterioration. And there's a few spots where there's another broken frame that hasn't been sistered. There's a few places where the inner plywood has basically started to rot, where water's gotten to it, unfortunately. Let's see. Going down below, this owner's been really fastidious in cleaning and improving the stuff he can get to, and you can see all the upholstery is beautiful. The interior varnish has all been recently redone. Nice huge ice box, no refrigeration, but big stainless ice box. Some older electronics here. Nice sink sort of soldered in. Got electrical panel. Pause that if you want to read everything that he's got going on. Tool storage. Really good access to the engine. I won't open it up again now, but this whole panel, the steps come off and then that whole panel slides out, so the engine compartment is wide open. Larder here, dry storage. Right now the boat's just got a little 2-burner stove, but she's actually got the full stainless compartment here for a bigger cook stove, and he actually said that he has one that is brand new that came, I don't know if it came with the boat or if it's just one he acquired, but he said it would be easy to install. There's no propane tank at the moment, but be easy to add one. So I would say, you know, there's a lot of headroom and a lot of elbow room down here. You know, the varnish is in good shape. It's you know, it's stained. There's a little bit of discoloration, but the first impression is pretty good. Again, he's done a really nice job, like refinishing all these fiddles, and he's had all the doors off. Little alcohol bar for nips there. Beautiful soapstone wood stove that he said he uses pretty regularly. A couple of original Chelsea clocks that are clock and barometer that have been professionally restored. Those are in immaculate polish. Underside of the overhead, looks like it's just been sanded and primed back here, and the covers are off. But in the back of the boat, all the beam covers have been refinished. A couple of cleat handholds. There's some cleats that have been re-chromed, and the forward corners of the hatch covers. Oh, there's the covers for the deck beams down there. Carrying on up forward here, got a big hanging locker to starboard. Some foul weather gear and such. Really nice upholstery up forward, good headroom. He said the head's never been used. It's just it's all in really good shape. The black tank and the fuel tank are back aft under the sole. Got a AC outlet, some nice storage down there, and new plumbing. Some cool little drawers here. I like that detail for toothbrushes and such. Let's see. Towels, more storage. Nice chrome port lights. So let's see up forward. These are all new Naugahyde cockpit cushions. Storage in there. Not sure what's going on. There we go. What I'm going to try to do is show you under the bunk here. This is a good example of the structure of the boat. I spent quite a bit of time crawling around in the bilge, and there, if that comes into focus, you can see the inside layer of just unfinished plywood. and some laminated frames. It looks like anywhere the frames had deteriorated, they'd, you know, put these laminated frames in. I gotta be honest, it wasn't very well done. Looks like it's, you know, probably strong enough, but quality-wise, there's a lot to be desired. Lots of storage, drawers. Another good example of a pull out one of the tool drawers here. And you can see, I don't know if my light's gonna come on or not, but see if I can figure out how to get the light on without stopping the video. I can't. All right, still recording. So anyway, inside of the hull, I did have a look down in the bilge when the engine compartment was open. It's the top of the fuel tank there that's visible. Let's see if I can get in there now. There we go. It's like metal floor timbers, really deep bilge going down to the pump. Access to the engine. There's a beam, a deck beam up here over the top of the engine that is completely rotten, that I was able to stick my finger through. Another AC outlet. Okay, I'm gonna turn off the power. Okay. Everything's off, so yeah, the impression is the interior has, you know, not huge port lights like Lavera, but plenty of light, lots of space. It's really quite open. You know, it would be a good boat for somebody who was tall. Bunks, let's see here. If I spread my arms out tip to tip, that would be about 6 feet, and there's, you know, easily another 4 or 5 inches. So I'd say bunks are a good 6'4". Actually, there were quite a few tools in here. If I'm lucky, I might find a tape measure. I'll come back to that. Nice wood binnacle. Engine instruments. I don't know if there's an hour meter on there or not. Let's see one. Access to the bottom of the cockpit there. You know, everything that's accessible that can be painted has been painted, which is good. But there's some areas, I don't think this will stay in focus, but down under the fuel tank I noticed a little bit of deterioration. Okay, coming on down here. Just picking up the shear. Alright, so down on the ground. The boat's been out of the water for the summer, but she's going to go back in a couple of weeks and just sit in the water without the mast in, just to swell up. It's just looks like a little bit of water running down in the corner of the transom. The planking on the outside of the boat all looks fair. The rudder is clean, looks fairly new. It's got a little bit of a hook in it, support that looks like it's been, you know, sort of helped along by this shim. Kind of interesting. Nice clean prop, cutlass bearings tight. A little bit of plank bulging on the port side. You can see kind of working down the rabbet how the planking is a little bit proud on the port side, and there's a secondary garboard drain, which is odd. It seems like that after garboard drain is maybe behind one of the backbone timbers. So I would want to pull off the garboards and just see. Sounds solid, but I'd want to see what's going on under there. As you can see, planking's all pretty fair and smooth. All the through hulls are recessed. Stepping back a little bit, you can see the scum line is a little high. If this was my boat, I would think about repainting the water line. If I get back, you can really see that scum line is well established, and yeah, I would think that whole boot stripe is a little higher than it wants to be. Topside finish is okay. You know, it definitely has a owner-maintained look to it, but no evidence of planking moving. Fairly, you know, bulbous stem. A lot of shape up there. Flying wheelchair, Hinkley logo. Kind of an interesting looking ballast casting. It's got a lot of lead down low. There's the depth transducer on center line, speedo. So yeah, I would say the outside of the hull looks a lot better than the inside. Here's the mast. The mast has been prepped for paint, so the flat finish is just because it's all been sanded. Fairly conventional looking aluminum mast. No signs of any corrosion or bubbling. Spreader tangs, spreaders and the boom are back in the shop and all freshly painted. All internal halyards. Not sure what that is. Mast wiring. Port side. Through holes for the head up here, again all flush. Backbone timbers look pretty solid. So there's Wraith. I'm gonna go back to the shop now and get some pictures of the sails and the boom and spreaders, and take a look at an album of restoration photos.